I am doing, let's start with the finger.
We
What
It was
are you
all
going
the
to
stuff
start
that you
with?
did yesterday.
the elbow, forearm, and humerus.
The elbow, okay, the elbow. Okay, first I'll make sure I am at 42-inch distance, alright? And let's say I'm doing, well, the classic elbow here on this patient will be what? Will be an AP and lateral. AP and lateral is quite simple, okay? I'm going to make the elbow joint sit in the middle of that cassette. Alright, here is my stuff. Okay, 10 by 12 crosswise. I'm going to split it right in half, as you can see. And that will be my AP, making sure my epicondyles are equidistant or parallel, right? A marker here with the MR, but this will be my AP elbow. My next picture will be the lateral elbow. Please move your arm, sir, please. We're going to split this arm like this. I'm going to move either my tube or my cassette, a stable top, so I have the liberty of do whatever, you know. The important thing to remember here is what? Is the epicondyles should be superimposed, hence the humerus should be flat on the cassette on the table, okay? And that will be my lateral elbow. You know, the thumb is up, the elbow 90 degree, epicondyles superimposed, okay? 100% superimposed. And to achieve that, the humerus should be flat. Now, he is able to do this, or he might squat, it doesn't matter. But I mean, the humerus has to be superimposed. I'm sorry, has to be flat on the cassette. Marker here if I didn't mark the other one, and that's it. So that will be my AP and lateral elbow. Now, we also did talk about what? Something called obliques. The medial oblique elbow, I start from a nice, good AP, and all I do is basically flip that hand down like this. And that will be my medial oblique elbow. The elbow joint is centered to the cassette, as you can see right here. Okay? I can really also block this one. If I'm doing them 2-on-1, I mean, you know, it depends on the place where you're at, okay? And here I am, right here. I mean, quite simple, nothing really fancy. Then that was my medial oblique elbow. This one here will be my lateral oblique. Alright, so I put the patient again from AP, and this one a bit uncomfortable because he needs to really kind of a little bit, you know, twist like this. Okay. I mean, here we go. That's a lateral oblique. Lateral oblique. Okay. It shows you the cornoid process, etc. Just the elbow, so he needs to come down some. There you go. All right. And that will be the so-called 4 views: AP, lateral, and 2 obliques for the elbow. Now the special consideration for the elbow are the famous what? Partial flexion and acute flexion. And those are, you know, like anything else, I do what? AP and lateral. So I do something called what? The composite AP, which is 2 pictures to make 1 AP anatomically, okay? Hence, I start with the humerus down, center ray straight, block my cassette, move my tube, you know, keep it centered, you see? And notice that, you know, his arm is frozen technically, well, God forbid, but you know, the humerus is absolutely flat, okay? Here I'm going to achieve an AP distal humerus, okay? Then I'm going to let him move his arm, you know, keep it as it is. We're going to flip this one here, all right? Make sure I am centered to my cassette, as you can see here. All right, and then he's going to stand up, and we technically, I mean, he cannot really put his arm, you know, open his arm, but that's what he's going to do. This time around, you know, the other portion of the elbow, which is the proximal radius and ulna, will be flat on the cassette, and I'm still shooting straight through the elbow joint. You know, you go and process that picture, and you're going to have basically, you know, 2 images to make 1 elbow in a way, okay? That's what we call it, composite picture. That would be a partial flexion. Then the lateral, you know, as is, I mean, that's all he can do. He cannot do this, definitely. With the arm frozen, again, I'll put the humerus down. I mean, basically, he was open like this. So whatever he can give me, sometimes he's that way, sometimes he's that way. But theoretically, people with this problem, they lose the ability to supinate and pronate. So that's the best they can give you. They can give you this PA projection on here. But bottom line, actually, I cannot do nothing with this angulation. So I'll make sure that the humerus is flat, epicondyles are superimposed, and I will call this one my lateral elbow partial flexion. Okay? And here it is. Okay? You know, marker right here. And that will be the so-called partial flexion elbow. Acute flexion, same scenario. Okay? We're gonna split that cassette. You know. Okay. He's gonna come to me in this position. That's all he can do. The first picture will be humerus what? Flat. Okay? Humerus flat, and I'm gonna basically shoot, you know, right here, kinda. Yes, perfect right there. Alright? And that's all I need right there. Okay? And that will give me again the humerus, the distal humerus actually flat with no distortion. The second picture, I'm gonna flip this right there, and I'm gonna recenter my cassette. Okay, and he's like this, so we're gonna keep him like this. That's all he can do. Sorry. Okay, but this time, you know, I'm gonna make my beam perpendicular to the forearm. So I'm gonna angle. You know, technically this will match. If you want a trick for that, I'm sorry. You know, you bring it down some until you are matching, you know, the same angulation. Okay, and then you bring it back up to 42. Okay, which approximately just like this. See? Okay. See, now I am perpendicular to his forearm, and I'm gonna have another picture. Between the two, I'll have a composite what? AP projection. AP projection. The lateral is the same story, you know. He's gonna stay like this, he can't do nothing, and we're gonna just place him as such. The humerus flat, epicondyles superimposed, whatever I can achieve with his arm, you know, I'll do my best, but that's the idea. And that would be my lateral elbow marker. Okay?
Whenever you were angling the tube and moving it back to 40, would you measure it to his arm or to the cassette?
The cassette.
Okay.
Your distance is always 40. You always stay at 40. If you want to measure it on your own.
Oh, you moved. Okay, never mind.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Same thing. I mean, it's okay. All right. What else?
What was the one on
The shoulder. Where you were turning the beam.
Ah, humerus. Humerus. Okay.